Hello everyone, I am Peppino, back for our 25th episode of Kerbal Space Program, and we have something special planned, as I have hinted at for a couple episodes. Here we see Kerbin, and we can scroll out and see the solar system. We've got satellites, probes, debris, stuff orbiting, stuff everywhere. But today we are doing something very special. Now, for the last 4 to 5 years of in-game time, we have been doing unmanned missions with probes and whatnot, which has had mixed success, landing a couple times, landing once, crashing once, and not working the other couple times. But now, over that 4 years, Jebediah has essentially taken over the running the show at Kerbal Space Program. He's our head astronaut. He has been recruiting new astronauts, expanding the space program, and he has been building something. Since Jeb loves being in space, it's the thing he loves most of all out of everything, he decided he doesn't ever want to leave space, which inspired him to build this. The Jeb Kerman Space Station. And now he will command the flight with Bill and Bob at his side. He will command the flight that will take the Jeb Kerman Space Station up into orbit. And he built this over 4 to 5 years with his bare hands, duct tape, glue, and whatever he could find laying around. And it is his dream to see this launched and to live aboard the space station. So, without any further ado, we might as well do this here. Now, the one thing I'm worried about is how large this is launching while recording. It may be very slow. So if the timer up here is going slower than 1 second per second, which is a weird thing to say, if it's going slower than 1 second per second, that's just because the game is slowing down so that it doesn't lag out and crash. Alright. Jeb, you ready for this? Ready to see your dream either come true or go up in flames? And if it goes up in flames, chances are you'll die shortly after, so you won't have to wallow in your sorrow. So don't worry about it. Just think positive. It's gonna work. I mean, how could it not? It looks so stable, doesn't it? Sort of, maybe, a little bit. Well, anyway, here we go. Launching the Jeb Kerman Space Station in 3, 2, 1. There we go, everything has kicked in and we are off. Jeb is very excited. Bill and Bob are still waiting to see. Bob looks a little concerned, but the takeoffs are always scary because you don't know if it's going to blow up. Bill is, undecided. He's waiting to see how the mission goes before he reacts and starts screaming like a little baby. They're all sitting in there. Jeb is, once again, very excited. He has worked very hard on this project. And like I said, he has been recruiting tons of new astronauts and training them. So we have tons of astronauts trained, ready to go live aboard the space station. It has a capacity, it can safely support 31 Kerbals for as long as they deem necessary to stay up there. It has plenty of supplies for them, so it's all very good, and if we can get it up into orbit, it's going to be very useful and interesting for experiments. So we're going to watch this entire launch, by the way, just because of the fact that something could go wrong at any time. And if it does go horribly wrong, you guys don't want to miss it, and I don't want to have to come back and explain why I didn't get what would probably be the biggest explosion in the Kerbal Space Program's history, at least my series of videos. I'm sure there have been big explosions in other people's, but we won't talk about that, because this is the only Kerbal Space Program here. And so far, we've only had one real explosion, and it wasn't... Actually, it was pretty huge, thinking back. Taking time to reflect on our first 25 missions, it was a scary explosion. These 3 guys actually survived it. This is the same crew that survived that, and they survived a couple aborted missions, but then another crew eventually completed the first spacewalk, but then Jebediah had the longer, very long spacewalk to get to that pod, if you remember that. And yeah, Jebediah's had a lot of firsts, and he is the unquestioned leader here at Kerbal Space Program, which could be dangerous because he is a crazy person. But that's okay. We love him for who he is. And who he is a smiling maniac who likes to build space stations. So, we're getting ready for the first stage to deploy, and I'm worried that if something's gonna go wrong, it's gonna be when that happens. Because if one of these towers bumps into an engine or something wrong like that, explosions happen, and then we spiral out of control, most likely. And this thing's not built to land. This is very much built to stay in orbit. So it could end very badly for our 3 astronauts if this doesn't work. Alright. We're ready here. Almost out of fuel on this stage. And there we go. Detach, deploy. Yes, everything went successfully. As successfully as you could ask for, really. I had to time that perfectly, and I was able to do that. Now, zoom in here. We've got our apoapsis out plenty far. Let's start getting a tilt. Now, this thing, controlling this thing, might be slightly difficult, I don't know. Alright. Well, I could wait till we're up at our apoapsis to burn, or I could let that keep extending. I'm gonna want it to be orbiting farther out, I think, than this. Maybe around 300 to 400 thousand meters. But I haven't decided yet on an exact distance. That's probably the sort of stuff I should figure out before I start these missions. But I don't know. I figure I'll make it up as I go. You guys wouldn't know the difference anyway, except for I just told you. So yes, I am making this up as I go, but we are out into space. Pretty far out into space, actually. And things are looking good. As long as we can get this to orbit, this is looking very good. We still have one more stage to deploy, and that could lead to some trouble. But the mission could not be going any smoother currently than it is right now. Let's check on the astronauts. Bill and Bob are just losing it. They are screaming their heads off. Jebediah is just laughing and laughing and laughing at their terror. It's going great for Jeb. He's very, very happy. A very, very happy Kerbal. And hopefully Bill and Bob aren't this freaked out the entire time they're up in orbit, because that would be bad. But let's see here. Alright, we are extending fairly well here. Our trajectory could probably power down and wait. We'll warp time a bit until we get up to our apoapsis right there, and then we'll do another burn in this direction to hopefully reach orbit. Alright. And close enough for me. Let's aim this thing and start burning. Now, let's check this here. It's going all good. Their reactions are still very much what was expected. I guess I'd be a little freaked out if my life depended on a craft Jebediah built by hand, but I don't know if they need to be freaking out as much as they are. We trust Jeb, because we love him. Alright. Now, let's see here. How much fuel do we have left? We have plenty, although this stage may almost be out of it. So, once this stage is out, we're going to have to time this right again, because we don't want any explosions. Like that. Okay. Nothing on the station was damaged, just the debris. Whew, that scared me. That really scared me. Alright. Now, we'll keep this burn up. And then, hopefully, pretty soon, we can reach orbit. The problem is, this engine's not the most powerful, but it's powerful enough for out in space here, like this. It's just gonna take a little while to reach orbit. I could have put a more powerful one on, but I decided against it because this one's much more fuel efficient, so if we do need to do minor adjustments to our orbit, we'll hopefully have enough fuel left for that. Just as long as we get up into orbit, though. That's going to be the key. And now let's check on our guys again. Bill has settled down a little bit, at least for the time being. Maybe he's calmed down since all the stages have separated and it doesn't look like they're going to blow up. Bob's still a little concerned that they may not get up into orbit. And Jebediah is just taking in the glory of having his station up in space. Plus, he's happy whenever he's in space at all. So, that's good. Let's see if we can do this. Is this... Nope, not that way. We want to burn this way. This should maybe actually help us a little more. If we could do this. That could increase our periapsis quicker, therefore getting us into a nice orbit sooner. At least that is the theory. But I don't know if that's true or not. Maybe it's not. Is it this way? It might be this way. Yeah, I think it's this way that I want to be burning, not the other way. Let me see. Yeah, we want to be burning away from the planet. We don't want to be propelling ourselves towards Kerbin. That was not correct. It was very, very wrong of me to do. So now, it looks like we are gonna get a periapsis very soon. Come on. About to get one. And we got it. Now we just need to increase it enough so that we won't hit the atmosphere, and we will have a nice stable orbit. And that's actually a really, really straight orbit too. If you look at the orbit of the moon, we are basically straight on around the horizon, which is what you want. Now we got to get our periapsis and our apoapsis to be about the same, ideally. But our periapsis is now where it will not go into the atmosphere, so this thing is in orbit successfully. So congratulations are in order for Jeb. Bob, you can stop crying now. Bill's at least calmed down a little bit. Everything is looking terrific right now. So we are gonna be closing in on where we want to for stabilizing our orbit pretty soon, I think, as our apoapsis falls and our periapsis rises. Hopefully the two will get close to evening out. Our apoapsis is going back up now, which means, well, I'll get it up. Nah, I can put it at 278. I don't need to be at 280. Alright, now let's warp time a bit so that we can get around to our apoapsis. There, the debris crashed back down, and the rest of the debris should do the same pretty soon. And once we get back around here to our apoapsis, we will get ready to do another burn to hopefully extend our periapsis so that they are somewhat close together. There we go. That'll be good enough. And we'll turn ourselves just a bit, like that. Alright, we're going to be around 280. So that's where we want to stop this. Stop when this gets close to 280. Alright, now let's catch up to our apoapsis again. And this honestly went close to as good as I could have asked for. Actually, basically as good as I could have asked for. I don't really see how this could go much better. Alright. Now, let's do this. Stop. Alright. Close enough for me. 279 by 281. That's good enough. And that's important to remember. 280 is basically the midpoint of it. And that'll be important for what I'm going to talk about next episode. So, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. This may end up, actually it probably will end up being 2 episodes, I would think. I'm not sure how long it's been since I started. But, anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we have launched our space station. Jebediah is very happy. Bill and Bob are still freaking out. I don't really know why. You guys are in a stable orbit now. I'm just going to do some last second calculations here. Let's see. Now that is looking fairly good. What I gotta do is get this thing to stop directly on the 90-degree thing there, right close to where we're facing. The reason for that is then it will be more stable in its orbit around, like it won't be spinning the whole time. It'll be like spinning this way, like rotating rather than tumbling, if that made any sense to anyone. At least that's what I read on the good old Reddit. So, right now that should be good for our space station. I want to just make sure I'm as close to perfectly on there as I can. Right about there. That's good enough. Now hopefully that should work, and we can do this, and we'll extend all the solar panels just so I can show you what they look like, but we're going to want to retract them before we do what my next mission is going to be. Now I told you that this thing can house 31 Kerbals, right? And I told you Jeb had been recruiting Kerbals. Well, he has recruited them, and they have been trained, and they are going to the space station. Now, all that we need to figure out is how am I going to get more Kerbals from the space station up to, or from Earth, or from Kerbin, sorry, up to the space station. That's what you'll find out next episode. So thank you guys for watching. I'll just do some more minor adjustments to set up the space station, and then we will see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey, just quickly wanted to throw this in at the end of the episode. I was wrong. You don't want to be at 90 degrees. You want to be at north or at 180. That was my bad. You want to get this down to 0, and then keep it there with your SAS and RCS off, and then your space station shouldn't tumble through space a lot, which makes it easier to do docking and things like that, which we'll talk about later. Alright, goodbye, and once again, thank you for watching.